Hello, welcome to another episode of Learning to Fly. Before we dive into this week's video, I just wanted to say I've still got lots of content coming up on the channel, so make sure you subscribe. Obviously, I'm fast running out of actual flying footage, but that's okay because I'm teaming up, hopefully, with a guy called Ben Wyatt. I'll put his Instagram in the link below and his channel as well. He flies a Sky Ranger, so a microlight, but he's also an air traffic control officer for his job. So we're going to plan a video about radio telephony and just how it works and the common mistakes and stuff for any newbie pilots out there. And it's good to remind even seasoned pilots of things we should and shouldn't do. So that's coming up, and there's plenty of other stuff as well. So make sure you click subscribe, click that notification bell, all the usual stuff, and let's get into it. In the last episode, I took off solo in the Eurostar for the first time and found out it really does have a tendency to turn left.
It wants to bank quite considerably left if I just let go. So I guess that's my way. I guess it is my way.
Click in the top right to see that full episode. Coming up in this episode, though, my first time landing the Eurostar solo, we take a look as well at the overhead join and what's involved with that. Make sure you click subscribe, and once again, thank you so much for watching.
Fuel's good, radio's good, engine temperatures and pressures great. Direction we know where we're going, and altitude but good as well. Just descending.
Echo Alpha downwind. Echo Alpha, port final. Echo Alpha.
Golf Echo Sierra, we'd like to climb into the overhead to do a glide approach from 2,500 feet to land.
Echo Sierra, report, if you just port in the overhead.
Okay, thanks.
Let's fly slowly then. So we're going to do an overhead join. Haven't landed this on my own yet. I quite fancy the grass today though. There's a bit of a crosswind. It's coming sort of just southerly, slight southerly, but it's not far off being down the runway.
Campbell, it's Golf Charlie Echo Foxtrot Zulu, overhead Marmons free for the rejoin.
Golf Charlie Echo Foxtrot Zulu 08 right hand to QFE 1010. One aircraft is just climbing to the overhead for PFL.
08 right hand 1010, and Roger will look for traffic. Golf Charlie Echo Foxtrot Zulu.
Golf Echo Sierra's overhead commencing the glide.
Echo Sierra, Roger. 100 degrees, 12 knots.
So we get back to the QFE for the overhead join. There's someone in the circuit who's at 2,500 feet.
Golf Echo Alpha Bravo or Delta for accept.
Doing a glide approach.
Fine, continue to Woodside. Bravo 1, continue Woodside, Golf Echo Alpha.
Such a nice aircraft to fly. Oh, absolutely love it. It's fantastic. T's and P's in the descent, good. They're a little cool, but that's what we expect.
Golf Echo Sierra, final to land.
Echo Sierra 08, land your discretion 09012.
Landing Golf Echo Sierra.
So I'm about to make an overhead join. It is the standard join at most airfields and gives you a chance as a pilot to assess any traffic in the circuit and helps you integrate with that traffic safely. So let's take a closer look then at the overhead join as I fly it. Now, as you can see, this is an image taken from my Sky Demon log of the overhead join I'm about to fly. I've entered the ATZ, or the zone if you want to call it that, from the south and aim to fly overhead of the numbers of the end of the runway I will land at. That's how I remember it anyway. In this case, 08, or the western end. You aim to fly over those numbers at 2,000 feet AGL above ground level on the QFE, or you do at Kemble anyway. And it's at that point you call the airfield on the radio and say your call sign, and that you are overhead.
Golf Foxtrot Zulu is overhead and descending dead side.
Foxtrot Zulu, Roger. Golf Echo Sierra backtrack, vacate Bravo for Woodside.
Backtrack, Bravo to Woodside, thanks. Golf Echo Sierra.
Let's descend.
I'm about to comment on the turbulence. I sort of thought, I wonder if it gets bumpy at 2,000 feet. As soon as I dipped below 2,000 feet, it got bumpy.
There we go. That's funny, isn't it? Oh dear.
We then continue to descend on the dead side of the runway at Kemble. Now, the dead side is always to the north, at Kemble it is anyway. It's important to note that when using 08, again, this is at Cotswold Airport, the circuits are right hand, so you always turn right. So we descend, and as we do that, we turn right. At this point, we now aim to fly crosswind As I continue to descend, I now turn towards that crosswind point. Once we reach that point, I will use the call sign and just say that I'm crosswind.
Golf Foxtrot Zulu, crosswind.
Foxtrot Zulu number 1, port final to land.
Wilco, Golf Foxtrot Zulu.
We then continue to fly crosswind, so away from the runway, in this case 1,000 feet at circuit height, safely out of the way of any traffic taking off, with a good view of the rest of the circuit. Now, until we reach the point that we can turn downwind, when I'll make a right-hand turn. And once I've turned downwind, I'll then make my downwind checks for landing on 08.
Shall I go? No, I'm going to go hard.
Foxtrot Zulu, downwind to land, 08 hard.
Foxtrot Zulu, port final.
Wilco, Foxtrot Zulu.
Cool, so trim's good. Wind, we know what that's doing, it's from here. All clear, yep. And security's good. Fuel is sufficient to go around. Undercarriage fixed and locked. No temperatures and gauges, they're all good as well.
Here I'm just turning base.
What a view! First stage of flap.
And now turning final as well. So let's look at this landing.
Golf Foxtrot Zulu, final to land, 08 hard.
Foxtrot Zulu, land your discretion, 09011.
Landing, Golf Foxtrot Zulu.
So the wind is pretty much down the runway. It's just to the right a little bit, but certainly nothing major. I haven't landed this on my own, so again, the roll of the aircraft naturally wants to turn left because of my weight, which we saw in a previous video. You can click in the top right to see that. It's quite funny. So yeah, we look good. We're sort of at the top end of that white arc, so probably a little bit quick. I want to hit the darker tarmac, which we're about to go past any second now. Dark tarmac is there. So I'm doing my round out. You can see the speed really reducing now. Throttle is off at this point. And I'm just balancing that rudder to try and keep the nose straight down the runway. And then we touch down. Hold that nose off until it's safe to just ease it down to the ground gently.
Lovely.
Foxtrot Zulu, request backtrack.
Zulu backtrack, vacate Bravo, continue back to Woodside.
Vacate Bravo, continue back to Woodside, Golf Foxtrot Zulu, thank you.
Thank you again for watching another episode of Learning to Fly. Just click on my face to subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it if you did. And comment below as well, what would you like to see me do in a video during lockdown? I can cover editing, flight planning, I can download a flight simulator and have a go. I can make some airfix. I have ordered some airfix, actually. Should I talk more about my models? Let me know in the comment below, and I will continue to make content for you. But thanks again, and please stay well.